What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTL back with another post-game recap as the Lakers complete this Cinderella night, man. For me, a real LA fan, man. My Rams first, my Lakers second, and they really play phenomenal, guys. Defensively with effort. Stanley Johnson came up huge. I'm talking 10 points in the fourth quarter and just crapped all over Rudy Gobert, man. My phone's still going off. Everybody texting me. I can't believe the Lakers played this phenomenal. The effort was there from A to Z. Everybody from Russ to Stanley Johnson to Malik Monk to LeBron James. They made big play after big play after big play. Yes, Meta Jr., I agree, brother. Matter of fact, I'm going to make another comparison right quick. Our boy Stanley Johnson reminds me of a poor man's Draymond Green, all right? Somebody who just makes big-time plays during big-time moments, and he deserves to have his contract guaranteed. I promise you the Lakers are going to guarantee his contract. I don't know when and I don't know how, but they're going to do it because this man was one of the main primary reasons we won tonight. I'm talking not only his high basketball IQ and defensive energy and effort and the way he was able to muscle Rudy Gobert. I mean, I don't know what was more impressive, Russell Westbrook's poster dunk on Rudy Gobert or the fact that Stanley Johnson, a man coming out of no roster, coming out of nowhere, just absolutely destroy Rudy Gobert offensively and defensively in the paint, muscled him around, moved him around, made him look like the Stifle Tower. And it was just a sight for sore eyes. I mean, this literally was the Stanley Johnson takeover. I know I'm raving about Stanley and there's other players to talk about, but man, what an acquisition. What an acquisition. I mean, he should have been signed yesterday the way he played tonight. This guy really, really reminds me of Draymond Green the way he played. His effort, his fearlessness. We know Draymond Green's not the best scorer or shooter, but he can get hot. And when he wants to play with passion and energy, this was a similar type of play tonight. I mean, a small ball center. And I got to give credit to Frank. We were really hard on him for the starting lineup, but he really closed out properly. And what I thought was really, really phenomenal about this team is the fact that they were able to hold Russell Westbrook on the bench during the majority part of that run and bring him out with like 4 minutes left to go. So he really didn't ruin anything. If anything, he played well tonight. So I'll give credit where credit is due. Forget about the stats, man. Throw those out the window. I love Stanley Johnson. Okay, I'm in love. He needs to get signed yesterday to the rest of the season. And if we could, man, I would ink him to multiple-year deal. I don't understand why the NBA has become such a cliche for offense when you have players talented as Stanley Johnson jobless, man. Shame on the NBA. This, to me, is more valuable than offense. There's plenty of offense to go around the league, but players like Stanley Johnson aren't made every day. Okay, we've been making the comparison about Meta World Peace. That's a perfect comparison. But tonight, he gave me some Draymond Green vibes. I mean, the way he muscled the Eiffel Tower around, man, he really didn't make him look like a defensive player of the year. Like, this man looked weak sauce compared to Stanley Johnson. The way he moved him around, I loved every minute of it. And defensively, the Lakers were on it, man. This team, I mean, check this out. Just for reference, the stats. We held the Jazz, that are the highest scoring team in the league, averaging, I think, 110 or 111, to 95 points, below 100. And we were totally able to shut down Donovan Mitchell, only 13 points. That was key. Conley went off a little bit, but I'd rather have Conley going off than having Donovan Mitchell go off. And so I couldn't be more proud of this team's effort, guys, tonight. And like I said, it completed my night because, my Rams dominated. And now defensively, my Lakers dominated as well tonight. Now, we had a shitty third quarter. We had a very crappy third quarter where I thought, oh, man, why? The game is getting away from us, right? We went away from what was working, and we inserted in a lineup that wasn't working. And then Dwight Howard never saw the light of day again, which I was pretty upset about. But I will give credit to Frank because it was a very gutsy call to leave Stanley Johnson out there, and it paid off. My God, did it pay off. I couldn't believe what I was watching, man. I love it when an underdog takes over a game like this and proves why he should be in the league. I mean, I think Stanley Johnson more than has proven already that he should have been in the league, right? Do you guys agree with me? How did AR play? AR was great, man. His hustle, effort defensively, and even offensively when he missed that shot, that little teardrop, the way he followed it, that was a huge play. I was a little upset again when he got subbed out, but the substitution pattern seemed to work out because Avery Bradley came in the very next possession and he smacked a three-pointer. So it worked out, man. But you know what I'm saying? Anybody out here mad about this? We won, all right? So I'm not going to let you cuss us out on Martin Luther King Day. Get out of here, hater. Anybody mad or upset about tonight's game is not a real Laker fan, all right? So these people getting mad at us because we've held Russell Westbrook to a higher standard, get out of here, bro. You're going to get blocked. He said Utah missed so many wide open threes, literally no defender around. But what the Lakers did, though, is we kept them off of the glass, man. We crashed as a unit. Even when we went small ball, we didn't allow Rudy Gobert and the Utah Jazz to get too many second chance points. That was key to tonight's game. All right, they crashed as a unit. I love the fact that LeBron James kept his promise about how we would play harder, and that's what matters the most, right? Everybody stepped up, man. You know, Jazz fans not allowed in here. Nah, Jazz fans are allowed as long as they're respectful. I mean, they're not watching our season though. They're really calling us names for calling out Russell Westbrook is irrelevant. We're still going to call out every single player, including Russell Westbrook. He played good tonight. That's the bottom line. I mean, he had that huge poster against Rudy Gobert, and he gave energy and effort, and he didn't turn the ball over a lot. So that's good. And he finished his layups for the most part. So that's great. He said, bring that energy every game. Let's go Lakers. Yes, they showed it to me once. Now they got to show it to me every single game. I want to see this Laker team, this gritty, because this should be our identity, to be honest with you. We have this type of team. I don't understand why people say, oh, Dan, you're being too hard on Frank Vogel. We don't have the roster, the personnel. We have the roster. It's all about using them properly, guys. That's the key right there. And so, like I'm hard on Frank Vogel many other nights, tonight he made the right decisions down the stretch. It wasn't always pretty. All right, he made some questionable decisions. I didn't like the fact that he didn't start Malik Monk. Always start Malik Monk. I don't care if it's over Ariza or Avery Bradley. You got to have a nice little balance of offense and defense. It can't be all defense because then we get stagnant like we did in the third quarter to start off. So that's my only criticism, but major credit to him because he allowed Stanley Johnson to shine tonight and he didn't sub him out, which he sometimes does. You know, a player gets hot and he subs him out. So tonight I give him props because he rolled with the hot hand, at least with Stanley Johnson, and it paid dividends. You know, got to be happy with that. My boy said Father Time doesn't know where LeBron lives. Facts. LeBron James is he's an anomaly, man. He's different. LeBron James is the type of player that, like you said, Father Time is usually undefeated, but not in this case. In this case, LeBron James is knocking Father Time out. But look, listen. Tonight was a team effort. Everybody played phenomenal, man. Everybody played phenomenal. And it was the little plays by Austin Reeves, like that little tip play and taking a charge and all of that really changed the momentum of this game. We stopped them from ever getting momentum. And even when they had the lead, the Lakers kept fighting and they came back. So 15 points off the bench for Stanley Johnson, 10 in the fourth. To me, he's the player of the game. But also Malik Monk off the bench with 14. You know, he was aggressive. Even THT was aggressive off the bench. That really helped. And then, of course, LeBron James with his usual 25, 7, and 7. Russell Westbrook with a solid 15, 8, and 3. Again, not a triple-double he's accustomed to, but we still get the dub. That's how he has to play. He has to sacrifice for the team and not force it. Now, there was a period in time when he was just still jacking up shots in the third quarter, and that wasn't helping the rhythm of the game. But other than that, man, you know, I love the effort. I thought he played a lot better tonight. He needs to keep this up and play for the team first. That's number one. Everybody has to play for the team. The way they laid out their body tonight, that was a beautiful thing to watch. We were diving on the floor for loose balls. We were out here, like I said, Austin Reeves following his own miss with the tip back. Everybody from A to Z came to play. And this is all we expect as fans, win or lose. I would have been proud of this team tonight. I would have been heartbroken had we lost. I'm not going to sit here and cap to you guys, but we have to keep playing this way. This has to be our identity moving forward, a gritty, grimy team. And Stanley Johnson at the 5 is a secret weapon for us because he can really help man the paint on the offense and defensive end. So we can get away with that small ball BS if we got Stanley there. My boy said Lakers had to play hard after that loss. Big time, Aussie. Laker fans, Laker Nation was very tired of the BS. And I'm so happy that they're able to step up tonight, but they have to keep it up. We're not going to be satisfied with just one win. This was the victory of the year, guys. We stopped a hot team at the right time. My boy said, you're right, Dan. You can't have all the offense or all the defense. You need a mix of both. Vogel needs to see that. Yeah, listen, my biggest disappointment about this starting lineup is that it's just I don't feel like the Lakers have an identity. Like we don't never know who's going to start. And I hate that from the coaching staff. Like One game we'll play small ball, LeBron at center, and then the next game we have Dwight, and now we're going too big with Trevor Ariza and Avery Bradley and LeBron. And all of a sudden now we're stagnant offensively. So how about a nice blend? How about you leave Dwight in the starting lineup, leave LeBron, obviously Westbrook, they automatically there, but you choose between Ariza and Avery Bradley. You can't start them both. When Avery Bradley's knocking down shots, great, but sometimes he's not, right? And this is why you need Malik Monk. He's an insta bucket. As soon as he came in off the bench, we started getting production, all right? And so we need as many insta buckets as we can playing alongside LeBron so that the floor spacing could be better, especially if you're starting Dwight, which I'm okay with, right? My boy Stanley looking like Ron Artest, yes, sir. And he's only 25. And this is why I question the league. It's like you have all this offensive talent, and there's a dime a dozen of scorers and bucket getters around the league. But why in the hell are players like Stanley Johnson unemployed? I don't get that. This man out here playing like lottery, not lottery, but he's obviously 25, but he's playing like one of the brighter young players in the league, defensively at least, right? And you know what I liked about him the most, even though he's not an offensive threat, he's been knocking down his open shots consistently. Okay, he's been attacking the rim like his name was LeBron James. Like he looked fearless, right? Like he didn't care that Rudy Gobert or Rudy Gobum, whatever his name is, was under the rim. He was attacking. He was using his body to keep the defense away and finishing. He even switched hands in the air to finish one of those layups, man. It's the confidence, and that's all I want to see. I loved it. You know, my favorite play was when they left him wide open from beyond the arc because they're clearly not, you know, they don't trust his jump shot. What does my man do? Does he settle? No. My man takes a couple of dribbles in, hits a free throw line mid jump shot, which we all know he's a very solid free throw shooter. So he went with the high percentage bucket and he didn't settle for what they gave up. Instead, he took what he wanted. And that to me showed me, okay, mentally, this kid is sharp. All right, this kid is sharp. His IQ, his basketball IQ is high, and he didn't settle just because that's what the offense gave up. Even though he was hot, he could have easily taken that jumper. I promise you 99.9% of the league would have taken that jump shot. But the fact that he showed his prowess and his comfort and he settled into a mid-range jumper, knocked it down. Jennifer says, man, Dan, I was about to cry when our team showed some defense and the mother freaking effort. Listen, it was a sight for sore eyes. I felt like I'd never see this team again this year, man, the way we've been playing lately. But I gotta say, very proud of this team. I can't be prouder of this team tonight. Both of my teams, man. Shout out to my Rams, baby, and my Lakers. Both showed up and dominated. Well, the Lakers more so defensively, but it's beautiful. And when the team is playing for each other, you can tell the difference. Like tonight. Tonight, the team was rotating the ball, finding the open shooters, make it or miss. We were trusting each other instead of settling. Now, there were a couple of plays in the third quarter. Again, the third quarter was atrocious, all right? It was probably the worst quarter in the game. I'm so glad the fourth quarter was much kinder. And again, credit to the coaching staff for going with the right lineup because that lineup was everything for the Lakers. That lineup not only kept us in the game, but it put us over the top and it brought us home. And it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. Happy MLK Day. Yes, absolutely, man. Couldn't have happened on a better day. He said, shout out to the 49ers for beating the Rams and the Cowgirls. I mean, hey, your 49ers fought hard, man. I can't take nothing away from them, but let's see what happens moving forward, man. I look forward to hopefully meeting you guys again. That'll be great because we're overdue for a victory. I look forward. My boy said, now that Nunn is sidelined probably for another month, I'm asking THC and Nunn for Jeremy Grant. You know what? Based on what they've been talking about, that's something that could happen because all they're asking for is a first-round pick and a young, talented piece. We have both of those to give up. So Nunn would be the cherry on top for them. And so I feel like, yes, a trade package of that, maybe you might have to add a first-round pick, but might get it done. I just really hope that the asking price isn't higher for us and for other teams because then we're going to get screwed over again per usual. But Rob Pelinka got to be moving these phones because we have pieces that are keepers, right? We have pieces like Stanley Johnson, obviously LeBron, Malik Monk. Those guys we have to keep, Avery Bradley. But then we got pieces that are very movable. Kendrick Nunn, THT, the first-round pick. And that can fetch us another key rotation piece. Now, imagine Jeremy Grant on this team. That would be awesome because obviously you can go really small and have Jeremy Grant at the 5, maybe Stanley Johnson at the 4, LeBron at the 3. You know, you can mix it up. You can really mix it up and have all kinds of different depth lineups if you have a wing that's as versatile as Jeremy Grant. Another thing you can do though is if you actually get an actual big like Miles Turner, I think he would fit this gritty style of play. Now imagine Stanley Johnson, but with some height on him and actual offensive ability. That would be really scary, and that's what Miles Turner would be. He'll bring the toughness and the grit of a Stanley Johnson, but with more size and more offensive prowess. Remember, this guy can hit shots consistently from the mid and from beyond the arc, and he has a post game. So I would love to have either of those two players. Very talented, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I really want – this is just one game. This game could really turn our tide, but I felt like we've said that several times this season, so I'm not going to get overhyped. I really want to see this team truly ramp up moving forward, and I want this to be the identity for this roster because we have the team to battle night in and night out and be gritty and just be a defensive-minded team, right? Frank Vogel has to earn his paycheck. He's a defensive-minded coach. Tonight, he showed, okay, he left the defensive roster out there. It worked out. So let's just hope that moving forward, we continue to reward guys because what really pissed me off is the last game before this one, Stanley didn't play much valuable minutes. You see what I mean? And tonight, he was an X factor. So why was this guy not playing the previous game? Right? Again, this is why so many Laker fans question the coaching staff, and we can't get behind it because we don't see it consistently enough. Now, what would infuriate Laker fans is if we don't even use the roster that worked tonight, if we don't even use the pieces together, the combinations, right? You've seen it work for you, now go out and use it against different opponents, right? But that's just how I feel, man. For some reason, this coaching staff hasn't been able to get a consistent rotation going here, and we're going to need that moving forward, all right? We see what works. Now, how about we use it for a change? Dan, what do you think about that last fast break by Westbrook? I'm glad he made it, but if he hadn't, SMH. I'll give him credit when he deserves credit, and he played well tonight, okay? Now, he still had a couple of mistakes. I feel like he forced it a couple of times after that dunk. I feel like he was trying to play hero ball a little too much. But what was most impressive was his defensive effort, and his rebounding tonight was there. And the effort, okay, was there. If he can do that defensively, I'm happy, right? They didn't allow Donovan Mitchell as a unit. They didn't allow Donovan Mitchell to do what he usually does. We held him to 13 points. That's huge. And that in itself could have been the key to the game because when you take out the main player from the opposition, all of a sudden they have to rework their strategy. And, you know, what they had game plan playing to their main two guys wasn't going. So they had to scramble, and Mike Conley stepped up, hit some big shots, but it wasn't enough. And again, credit to the Lakers defense for scheming properly and coming with the effort. Again, we didn't see this effort versus Denver. If not, the outcome would have been maybe different. Who knows? But we showed heart, we showed passion, we showed grit, determination, and this is how we have to move forward. This is how we have to march moving forward. Yeah, I'm slightly feeling trolled by Russ, like laughing in our face of how good he can really be. Well, you know what, Jasmine? I think Russell Westbrook showed me a level of explosion in athleticism that actually makes me question if the effort is always there. Because if you can really jump out the gym like this and posterize the French Eiffel Tower, then you should show that type of explosion on your layups and finish those more times than not. I guess he's just been playing lazy because I really thought he didn't have it anymore. I guess he proved me wrong tonight with that crazy poster dunk. So showed it to me once, better show it to me again. But I'm really not going to hold my breath for it because he's been so inconsistent offensively that I'm just not going to be sold off of one dunk. But I am happy that he made that dunk because that was the highlight of the night for sure. But all in all, listen, 13 points, 14 points, how much ever he scored is not going to change my opinion on how hard I've been on him. I still think he's a very selfish player. And I need him to sacrifice for the team more, even if it means scoring less than 10 points, whatever the case may be, in order for us to – because let's be honest, when we made that run, he was on the bench. So let's not act like he was one of the main catalysts for this comeback because he really wasn't, right? That poster was nice and all that, but he just played an okay game, in my opinion. The one that was the X factor for me was Stanley Johnson. Austin Reeves' defense was phenomenal. I thought, obviously, LeBron James made some big shots there down the stretch. But the Lakers have to, if we have to continue to scheme around Russell Westbrook, it's going to hurt our team. So he needs to get with the program and know that we won't always need 15 and 15 from him. Sometimes we're going to need 5, 5, and 5, and that's okay as long as the effort is good and he's playing efficient. right? He still didn't shoot great, to be honest with you. Go look at his shot chart. He still, what was it, like 6 for 15 or something like that? So he didn't have a great game per se, but he had that great highlight. And sometimes people might look at the highlights and think, oh, why are they hating on Russ? He's playing phenomenal. It's like, no, he had a nice highlight dunk, a couple of good effort plays, but it wasn't nothing, that really moved the needle for me. I still need to see way more from him before I get back in his before he gets back in my good graces personally. But I'm not speaking for all of Laker Nation. Maybe he dunked his way back into your hearts, Laker Nation. You know what? I respect it, but it's still not enough for me. I need to see so much better from him because I know he's capable of better. He's just deciding not to play better. Like even the last couple plays, I noticed he was holding onto the ball because he wanted to be the one at the free throw line, which is fine as long as he's knocking him down. But it also shows that he's still trying to get his stats right. So that's how I still perceive Russell Westbrook as that, unless he changes my mind. Now, if he keeps playing well and he starts sacrificing more for the team like we need him to, and it translates to more victories, then of course he'll get on my good graces and I'll give him credit. I'm not a hater. Everybody knows I wanted Russell Westbrook here. I just don't think it has worked out so far. And that's just the facts. My boy said, Dan, I bet Kobe has won five more championships in heaven. Man, he Kobe Bryant. Listen, and I'm glad LeBron James apologized, even though he didn't have to. But everybody who was out there celebrating during these losses, man, they need to go back and watch some film because we hold this city and this team to a higher standard. And player fans might not understand it, but listen, we're not going to change for you guys. Y'all got to change for us. We're the winning program. You guys are trying to get with the program. So Russell Westbrook fans got to change for Laker fans and for Laker Nation if y'all want to be, respected, not the other way around. Like even right now, I had somebody try to curse us out, talking about how can we go against one of our own. Listen, it's easy. If you show that you care more about your stats and winning, then Laker Nation will care more about other players than you. That is nothing personal. It's just the way it's always been. We really despise players that came in here and cared more about their brand historically, than winning. Just like, Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder was more worried about Call of Duty than he was winning. And what happened? Laker Nation really got on his head, right? So at the end of the day, it's not that we want to hate. We want to root for Russell Westbrook, but you got to give us something to root for. One dunk is not going to get you out of the criticism. Like he was out here flexing on the fans like he just dunked his way out of trade rumors. No. Matter of fact, today, trade Russell Westbrook was trending on Twitter. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about Laker fans, I don't know what will. We just demand greatness, man. If you're out here blowing layups and turning the ball over and having your brother go on spaces and defend you is just not a good look. How about you just keep your head down, stay humble, and play hard? That's it. And then Laker Nation would definitely get behind you. It's all about humility here, man. We're not about that flash, even though they call us Hollywood and all that. It's a special place to play, and it's a privilege to play for the Lakers. And you always got to show up, always. There's no excuses, no excuses. And LeBron understands that, and I'm glad he does. All right, that's why he made that promise and he kept it tonight. He said, we'll be better moving forward. I hope that was the turning point. He didn't even go and have a press conference, nothing. That could have been it. I wonder what they talked about that made them click tonight. Interesting. LeBron promised they'd be better, and they were. That's leadership right there, Jasmine. Absolutely. And you know what? I wonder. I wish I could be a fly on the wall, and maybe they had a little players meeting. I don't know, but they all definitely showed that playoff intensity tonight. And this is why Laker fans be so frustrated with the Lakers is that they have all this talent and all these Hall of Famers and the effort they're giving in. Even Magic Johnson chimed in. It's a problem when Captain Obvious Magic Johnson, because he always speaks the truth, but it's always the obvious truth. When he chimes in, he couldn't bite his tongue anymore. So, let's hope. And I can only say hope because I'm not going to guarantee anything, but let's hope that the Lakers moving forward play in this style of this has to be their identity. This gritty, hard-nosed, smart basketball team who takes care of the ball. We were able to hold the Jazz under 100 and we were able to score 101. Now, we had tons of opportunities to get over 110. We missed so many free throws. we made some mental mistakes as well down the stretch in the second half, especially. We got to correct those because we can be so much better. But I cannot question the heart, the passion, and the effort tonight, and that's all I want as a Laker fan. I'm happy with that. He said they need heart today. They showed heart. Absolutely. He said Stanley Johnson won that game for them. Listen, yes, absolutely, Keita. Stanley Johnson was one of the main pillars that we stepped on in order to get to that victory. But other players stepped up as well. We have to show love to the whole team. But yes, Stanley Johnson, 10 points in the fourth quarter. I think at one point Stu Lance was like, he said that Quinn Snyder looked over at the coaching staff and said, "Who is that guy?" Right? So when you got the coaching staff puzzled like that, you're a problem for them. You are a problem for them for sure. He said LeBron James doing LeBron James thing, but this win was more of a late all plays from LeBron James, Stanley Reeves, and Bradley. Russ was on the bench. Exactly. Did you see Russ literally help mop the floor? He said someone said he still turned it over at the end. That's funny, bro. The Stanimal. Is that the nickname you're going with? We got to give a nickname to Stanley Johnson. We've been comparing him to Meta World Peace. Today I made the Draymond Green comparison. Stanley, I mean, it's pretty simple. I call him Stanley the Manly Johnson, but after tonight's performance, I think he needs like a grimy nickname, I don't know. He needs a grimy nickname, man. If y'all got any, and my boy says Stanimal. Anybody got any better suggestions? We need to give this man a nickname and get it trending on Twitter. Stanley Johnson took over. Don't like bringing up the Clippers, but it reminded me a lot of Terrence Mann last year against the Jazz. Stan the man. He said, once again, all Laker fans only like LeBron. What? Who said that? Penny, you tripping, bro. Laker fans don't only like LeBron. We're literally talking. You must not be listening to the segment because this whole segment has mainly been about Stanley Johnson. I just said, let's give him a nickname. So, if anything, you got to get off the man's jock, man. Nobody's really overpraising LeBron. Stan the Lakers fan, I like that. Ooh, I like that. Stanley the Terminator, the Junkyard Dog. I heard that one before. Manly Johnson. Stanimal's number 1. That is funny, bro. The Junkyard. I love Stanley Johnson. They need to keep him. Yes, I am happy they won. Please keep it up. Absolutely. Stan the Can. The Can. That's funny. Stanimal? I guess y'all like Stanimal. I can see you doing good on TikTok. Do you have an account? I do not, bro. I haven't even had time to download a TikTok account. But I've been told that before. What y'all think? Dan on TikTok? Junkyard Dog. The Beast. Stanley, a.k.a. the Caveman. The Caveman Johnson. I mean, he is a brute. He's a brute force, man. He's built like a brick, He is built like a brick. Stantastic. I like that one. Greg, I like that one. Now we're getting creative. Clampy Johnson. That's funny, dude. You should try some recaps on TikTok after games. Bro, I wouldn't even know how to use that app. I'd have to download it first and check it out. The Stanimal. Stan Gadget Man Johnson. Gadget Man. Inspector Gadget. The Giant Slayer. Ooh. Okay. I like that one. Gold Standard. The Beast. I've always just keep it simple, man. Call him Beast Johnson or something. He says Stanley showed us what a good wing can do for the team. He said we had 6-foot guards guarding 6'8" wings for the whole half of the season. Grant would be perfect. Absolutely, bro. I agree with that take 110%. I think Stanley Johnson, yes, another wing, especially the way the coaching staff wants to use these players. They want to go small. You have to have the right personnel for that. Stanley Johnson's perfect for small ball because they're playing him at the center, and he's actually able to use his body width to keep the big man away from the boards as best as he can. So that's good, right? He might not have the height, but his athleticism and his body width and strength, he was able to try to box out Rudy Gobert as much as possible. Kept him away from, because usually somebody else that was that small would, Rudy Gobert would have feasted on him, but we're able to, to keep him to respectable numbers. And offensively, he was able to exploit him. I couldn't believe it. I was watching. Like I had to rub my eyes a couple of times just to see, if I was like, is this really the Stanley Johnson takeover? And it was, man. What a beast. The X Factor. Someone said Mr. 10-Day. I mean, it fits him, right? 10-Day Johnson. Stanley the 10-Day Johnson. I don't know. Listen, we got to come up with a nickname, though, and get it trending on Twitter because this man, he definitely deserves. He's a fan favorite already. He said the Glove Johnson because he can lock players up like Gary Payton. Glove Johnson. Well, that one's already taken. You definitely don't want to take legendary players' names. We all know what happened when Dwight Howard tried to use Superman. The hatred he received from Shaq was unwarranted, man. Stan the Alienator. Somebody said the Terminator earlier. He said 10-Day Johnson. I like the 10-Day Johnson one. I mean, he's earned every single one. Is this his third 10-day contract? My man's balling. He's been balling all three of them. The whole 30 days he's been balling. Thoughts on OBJ's pass? Hey, that was crazy, Art. When I seen OBJ go back and actually throw that, I was like, wow. Like the pass was a little high, right? But it was kind of almost perfect. So it's fun, man. They were having fun. They were using all of their offensive weapons. I thought it was a great win. Why isn't DeMarcus Cousins still on the Bucks? Was he only a 10-day contract? I think he was. And he actually played well on the Bucks. Again, I don't understand why these players are unemployed. They're very good players. I think even I would have loved to at least, kick the tires on DeMarcus because I think he's something. I think this guy still has a lot left in the tank. My boy said Stan X-Man Johnson. I like that. X-Men Johnson. He is an X Factor as well. He is definitely an X Factor for sure. He's out here like a mutant too. So I like that one. X-Man Johnson. See, y'all real creative with the nicknames. I knew I could count on y'all. Have you watched the YouTuber Gideon before? Oh yeah, I watch him all the time, man. He's pretty funny. He's pretty funny. He said back in the day, players used to have made their mark in the league before they got a nickname. Nowadays, we're giving nicknames out like crazy, like Ice Tray. What? You don't think? Listen, if you don't think my man Ice Tray earned his nickname, you haven't been watching his career. All right, since he was in college, my man's been a bucket. He's cold too. He's cold-blooded. You seen what he did? Did you not see what he did in the Garden? Like. That is Ice Tray. That is his nickname. I'm not sure about what you just said, bro. I do agree. Sometimes we give out nicknames too easily, but nah, man. This guy definitely earning his stripes. Stanley Johnson as well. Wolverine Johnson. Damn. That's a beast name too. If you're a comic book fan, those are all beast names. Moon Knight Johnson going off of the trailer. Stank Johnson. Damn. Y'all really trying to insult my dog. Stan Lee, Mr. Marvel. He says, somebody said Wolverine Johnson. I like it. Stan is a beast. That's true. Wolverine kind of low-key fits him, man, because, Wolverine made out of that metal, man, that's indestructible. Stanley Johnson is a brick. He's a brick, man. Stuntman Johnson. Dope. Sign Stanley for 5 minimum years. Listen, I would love to have him long-term, but there's no way we can give anybody a contract right now long-term to the off-season. And even then, we're going to be limited. So, Weapon X, that is hard. That is pretty hard. He said Backbone Johnson. Tonight was a good win for LA. Yes, it was for both of the LA teams, man. Huge wins tonight. But it's only a pillar we got to build on. We're still a 500 team barely. So we're nowhere near where we should be at this point of the season. And let's get on a little 10-game win streak and then we talk. But in order for that to happen, I still feel like there's moves that need to be made. We got some pieces to move around. Let's hope. Let's hope that Rob Pelinka is able to accomplish some things here over the next couple of days. We're going to need that for sure. Couple more questions before I get off, though, man. I like all your guys' nicknames. Stan Super Saiyan Johnson. Dope. He said, nah, I'm not going to call him Big Johnson, though. Yo, chill out. The Undertaker? Nah. Mr. Clamp Johnson. Clamp Johnson. Okay. Well, we did beat a good team this time. Yes, we did, Keita. It was overdue, though. The Lakers have beat probably a handful of good teams this year, and that's it. We need a lot more wins like these because in order to get out of the West, we're gonna have to start building our confidence, and obviously standings matter as well. There's no way we can get out the West if we don't beat teams like these at all. Any rumors? Well, the same rumors, brother. The same rumors that have been going on. Obviously, the Lakers interested in Miles Turner, Jeremy Grant, and Ben Simmons, according to multiple reports. But Ben Simmons seems to be out of reach because they want. I don't know what they want, man. I don't know what they want for Ben Simmons, but it's crazy. I heard they rejected any offers from the Kings for De'Aaron Fox. I'm like, are you serious? If I was Philly, I would trade for a package consisting of Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox. They have more than enough to give up, man. Like, listen, Ben Simmons is a good player, but he's not as great as they're making him out to seem. Man doesn't even have a jump shot. So if they're out here rejecting trades with an actual one of the better up and coming point guards in De'Aaron Fox, I don't know what they want at that point. Imagine if they paired up what's his name? Their shooting guard they have right now. He's a nice little player. I forgot his name though. And Fox, and maybe they had Buddy Hill coming off the bench or something. I mean, they could do some stuff. They're not. Ben Simmons is not going to play for Philly. He already decided he's going to sit out the rest of the season. So you said Rock Hard Johnson, The Rock. The Rock would be a pretty cool name, low key. You know, I know the actor has it, but Stanley The Rock Johnson. I mean, his name is Dwayne Johnson. You know, they share a similar last name. He could be our version of The Rock for sure. Not to mention, you know, a rock is a pillar upon which many stand on to get to the next level. So yeah, I like The Rock. I think that's a cool one. Stanley The Rock Johnson. I like that. What do you guys think? The Rock? And he's built like a rock too, man. He said Beast Boy Johnson. Stanley The Rock Johnson and Austin HBK Reeves. Yes, sir. Billy the Kid. Outstanding. Now y'all getting too creative for me. My boy said outstanding. Dan, do you think we can go on a 10-game winning streak? Yeah, we could. Will we? That's the question, though. That is the question. I'm not sure if we will, but can we? Yes. I mean, we just proved tonight we could beat these type of teams. We proved it, but we just need to be consistent and show the same kind of energy, effort. We need to play like every game is game 7. That needs to be our identity, right? We need to play players like Stanley The Rock Johnson. Yes, sir. I like that. It just rolls off the tongue nicely. Stanley. I like that one too. That was pretty cool. Stanimal. He said, nah, I'm not sure if the one I have been talking to or something like that. He said, I don't have a problem to say anything about that. I don't have. What are you talking about, bro? I don't know what you said a whole lot of nothing, bro. The Prodigy Johnson. Stanley Johnson, all-star material. Nah, he's not all-star. He's not all-star material, but he's definitely X-Factor material. He's somebody who can come in and change the flow of a game defensively, and he's somebody who is not afraid to take a big shot. So, you know, the Rock Johnson over here, man. Did you hear AD trying to lose weight? Yes, I did hear it, and I love it because I feel like that's exactly what needs to happen for AD to be successful again. Just become mobile. He's able to catch lobs better, move off the ball, and do some things. You know, maybe we can get him scoring without the basketball. That would be huge. If he can just move without the ball, catch some lobs and some easy plays here and there, all of a sudden his offensive rhythm will be going and flowing because, you know, a scorer, all they need to see is the ball go through the rim a couple of times. Now he's hitting three-point shots. Now he's making tough fadeaway turnaround jump shots, and that's what we need for. That's why I was kind of bummed out we traded Rondo, who, by the way, is killing for Cleveland, because we could have used him, especially when AD returns, man. I really like the way they played the pick and roll. Those two used to have an A+ for chemistry whenever they were on the same team. So my boy said, what's your take on who? My bad, I lost it. He said Lakers could all be fat and still win. What? Come on, Def. We got to be in tip-top shape, man. None of that fat stuff. Dan, if the Lakers don't win a championship, which team do you think most likely to win? It's still too early, man, to even talk about that. At the end of the season, we'll probably talk about the favorites and predictions. But as of right now, it's up for grabs. All right, there's so many good teams. So many good teams, man. so many good teams out there, that you just can't say for sure that there's a clear-cut favorite. I mean, the Bucks still look good. So yeah, there's a lot of good teams. Dan of the Lakers, he said they're upset about that. I heard on Rondo. Hey Dan, did you see the coaches sat Russ in the third quarter? Yeah, I mean, I thought that was huge. That was a big. I think that was a big part of our run and our stretch, and that usually shouldn't happen. Like we shouldn't make our runs when our star players on the bench, but this season I think is different. I think the Lakers play more as a unit. Whenever there's not a ball hogger out there, making silly mistakes and forcing things. So that says a lot, and I think Russ should definitely look at the film and say, okay, where can I be better and be more selfless. So. But that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. It was a great night for Los Angeles, all right, for both my football team and my NBA team. I'm very excited moving forward to see what happens with both. Now, listen, again, trade deadline coming up February 10th, okay? February 10th. And so I feel like the Lakers still have to make a move, okay? No matter what these little Russ stands say, still not good enough. The way the Lakers are playing, still not good enough. Can they build off of this and start a gritty identity? Yes, they could. Will they do it? To be determined. We haven't seen it all season long. We haven't seen any consistency, but we need to start seeing that consistency. So hopefully the Lakers build off of this win, and also continue to try to work the phones, because we still need some pieces. And Miles Turner, Jeremy Grant, or anybody like that would go a long way to improving this roster. And hopefully we're able to do that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate all the support, man, the likes and everything. Please make sure if you did it to smash the like button on your way out. I'll see you guys real soon, man. If anything breaks, you know where to find me. Make sure you turn on those post notification bells as well, because we're going to be hitting the live stream, especially now that I'm healthy, as soon as these trades or even crazy rumors pop up, so we can talk about it. All right, guys. Much love, Laker Nation. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.